Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to today's installment of Created for More. And gosh, it feels like ages since I've last done one of these, which is our usual activation series, which is a solo episode where I come on to speak from the heart to you and give you some fire, some ginger for your next phase. I've been thinking actually, and it'll be good if you're a frequent listener of the podcast, you're one of the regulars, send me a note. It'll be good to know your thoughts. I'm thinking about doing these solutions a lot more because every time I do it, I get just really, insightful, deep, heartfelt feedback from people saying, "Oh, Tom Bright was so great. I listened to you and it helped me do this." So, should I do more solo shows? Let me know what your thoughts are. But anyway, today's topic is one that I'm super excited to talk to you about. I have actually been banging on about it on Instagram for a while, and I thought, actually, how about I bring this onto the podcast and possibly also in my newsletter? But anyways, how about I bring this onto the podcast to really discuss this, because I want to imprint this message on your heart. And as I started to talk about the message, I chuckled there when I said imprint. So today I'm going to be talking to you about impact. And don't snigger, because I know it's one of the words that a lot of people use, and it's one of those things that is at some point you start to wonder, what does it actually mean? Because every time it's like, oh, we need to make impact. It's a bit like greatness. Like everyone says, oh, let's be great, and so like it's become kind of like a buzzword. But regardless, I think it's one of the most important and fundamental words in the human vocabulary. And as I start to talk about it, I hope that you will see the same as to why it is so important and why we must never trivialize it. We must never see it as, something that just people say. But anyway, let's get straight to it. First of all, let's start from the very beginning. What does it mean to actually make impact? If we take aside all the references and all the conditioning you have had around making impact, what does it actually mean in the most plain terms? In the Oxford Dictionary, it actually says making impact is it's marking something, it's influencing something. So if you look at it, it's making an imprint on something. That's what it means to make impact. It's impressing upon something with something else. It's leaving a mark. Essentially, that is what it is. And it is one of these things that, it is so tied to our sense of value and esteem that a lot of times when we feel out of kilter, you just don't know why, you just kind of feel stuck. I just don't know what I'm doing. A lot of times it will be because you are either not having opportunities or using the opportunities that you have to impact the world or make the world a better place, or you are just not seeing it as important enough to do, and somehow you get constipated and you just kind of feel this sadness in your heart, like, oh, I'm not doing much, I'm not really impacting. What is my life for? That's when you start asking those questions that symbolize the fact that you are disconnected with something that you should be really connected in. The first thing I want you to remember on this podcast today is that making impact is in your DNA. I want you to know that it is in your DNA. It is part of your internal wiring, such that when you make impact, you are more alive. There's been so much research around this, and you find that people who go about doing good, who are looking for ways to make another person's life or groups of people's lives better, they live longer. They have less battles with things like depression or any of those sort of physical illnesses as well, because there is just an outflow. So the way that we have been wired as human beings is in that exact, replication, as the Bible says that we are made in the image and the likeness of God. So we were created like a God. In the image, we're fashioned after a God who makes impact on a consistent basis. So the very first thing when God, appears on the scene, in the Bible, in Genesis 1, what was the first thing that he did? Let there be light. Let there be light. And instantly, boom, what did he do? He imprinted himself, and you could see that the world changed as a result of something that he did. So remember what I'm saying here is that when you make impact, it is doing something that changes the composition of things as they are as a result of what you do. So have that foremost in your mind, that is your truest, most authentic form. Because when you are doing it and you're in that place, you feel fulfilled. You feel a sense of contentment. You feel like, okay. You feel a sense of purpose. You feel connected to something that is higher than yourself. So what does it do for you? It helps you, like I said, have, a better experience of life itself. Physically, in your health, and even otherwise, mentally, you feel like, you know what, I am good. I am all right. Right? The second thing is that it gives your life meaning. It gives your life a sense of purpose. Like there is something that you are doing that makes things better as a result of you just being yourself. And then the third key reason is that it fulfills your purpose for being here on earth. When you make impact, it is you fulfilling the word that was given to you before you came here on earth. Remember, I said it on this podcast severally. We as human beings, we are all here on assignment. Every single one of us has a message that they were given in their hearts, and to come to make the world a better place, right? So when you make impact, it is you, appropriating that power. It's you saying, yes, I align with my reason for being here on earth, and I recognize that. So that said, I want to talk to you about, why it is important to make impact. I've talked about what it does for you, but what does it do for the world, right? Collectively, it makes us connect more as human citizens of the earth. When we make impact, it fosters this sense of collaboration, of us working towards a greater good. That's one. The second thing that it does is that it helps us address the world's problems. If every single person takes up one thing as a thing that they will do consistently in contribution to making the world a better place, collectively, the problems of the world will be addressed. The challenge that we currently have is that the world's problems are being addressed by a few people because other people feel as if it is not their responsibility. So they abdicate their roles, they abdicate that position, that message that they've been sent to deliver on earth, and they feel it's somebody else's problem to do it. So collectively, when we make impact as citizens of the world, we will find that there will be a thorough reduction in the size of the problems that we have or in the world. Yeah? And then the final thing is that it just makes life work better for all of us collectively. It makes us better, it makes us happier. Actually, cut this final thing. It's okay. Then let me move on to this thing. Okay. So that said, what is the reason? What is the thing that stops a number of us? Like I just said, a great proportion of people are doing the work that should be shared broadly. No. So that said, what is the thing that is stopping us from doing the work that we need to do? What is the thing that is stopping us? Well, like I just said, a great number of us are not doing well. So that said, what is the thing that is stopping us from doing the work that we ought to be doing? I've just said that a small number of people are pulling their weight and are doing the work that a larger group of people should be doing. So they are lifting heavy weights and other people are, no, what's going on? Why am I not flowing? So that said, what is the real reason that people don't make impact? And perhaps you are one of those. You're listening to me and you're saying to me like, oh gosh, Tombra, I love what you're saying, but somehow I want to, but somehow I don't step into it and I'm not really sure why. Don't worry, I will articulate some of the reasons that may be responsible for what you are experiencing in your life. So the first thing is a lack of awareness. So prior to listening to this podcast, you may have thought, you know what, it is for other people to do. My own job is to just come, me, myself, and I take care of myself, take care of my family, my dog. I just make sure that myself and my immediate, family or maybe even extended relatives are okay. And as long as that's okay, I've done my fair bit and that is all. So sometimes there is a lack of awareness in the fact that we have innate responsibilities towards making the world a better place. Yeah. So a lack of awareness is the very, very, very first thing. So if you find that this is a tick for you, celebrate because now what? You now know that you can do better, right? Heaven has recorded that you have listened to this podcast and you can't unhear what I've said. So now you know. Do not, feign ignorance. Do not say, you know what, I never knew. No, that's not an excuse that will fly. You know that it is your responsibility to contribute your quota to making the world better. The second thing is no sense of urgency. We forget that as human beings, the minute we are born, we are actually dying. And that time is precious. It is our currency with which we transact the most meaningful experiences that we will ever have, that we have the capacity to hold on to whilst we're on earth. Forget that this life that we've been born in, there's an expiry date on it. So when you're sitting down and thinking, you know what, I'll do it later. I'll do it when I'm 30. I'll do it when I'm 35. I'll do it when I'm 40. You forget that you are not the decider of the number of days that you have. So no sense of urgency. No sense of attacking every single day like the gift that it is. Understanding that every single day matters in the quota that you contribute to making your life's experience more meaningful for yourself and others. That's the second one. The third one is the fear of failure. Is this where you are? You feel like, you know what? I have tried and I failed. Or I didn't even try, but I feel like when I see other people doing stuff, it just feels so intimidating and I don't feel like I can rise up in that light. So I'd rather not do anything because I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of being judged. I'm afraid of just not doing what I feel I should be doing. So I don't do anything at all. Is that where you are? Is that where you are? That quote, it's been banned around I've seen it a lot on social media where it says, I'm afraid that I will fall. And then someone then asks, but what if you fly? What if you fly? That's the first thing. What if you fly? What if what you're afraid of is just a mindset that has been created by yourself? Because that's what we do, right? We see life through filters. So you've put a filter and you've just completely said, you know what, this is for other people and this is for me. And you've completely limited yourself. So a limiting belief, right? But what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if you're capable of doing a lot more than you're currently doing? And that's not even a what if. That's a definite statement. You are capable of doing a lot more than you're currently doing. I got a testimony of someone recently who, just by having a conversation with somebody else, they realized that, wait, hold on. I thought I was held back by things, but it looks like there was nothing holding me back but my mind. And that released her to go and apply for roles that she had felt were beyond her for ages. And guess what? She got the job. So a lot of these things are things that we concoct in our minds. We feel as if, yeah, this is what it is, but really, it's just really what it is, a figment of our imaginations. Yeah? So don't fear failure. Start, try, and then go. And there is no such thing. Who makes the rules on these things? We get assessed by an audience of one. So don't seek validation in places that you have no business seeking it. What men say, what men think, what men feel, how they judge you, how they weigh you, should never be a decider on whether or not you stand up and do what you have been created to do. Okay? The fourth thing is a lack of resource. I wanted to say lack of resources, but then I said it's actually a lack of resourcefulness. Because you overestimate, overegg, you feel as if, you know what, this is the only thing, this is the thing that I need to be able to do such a thing, right? And we forget that really, really on the inside, sometimes it's not money you need, it's a phone call. Sometimes it's not money you need, it's an ability to get people to collaborate. Sometimes it's not money you need. All you need is to build a platform and other people will come and support you. A lot of times we categorize wrongly when it comes to thinking about what we need to make impact. You feel as if, okay, impact is just one shade. Making impact means the only way you can do it is when you have written a book, or you have done this, or you have done that, no, there are different ways, there are different definitions. So you have to sit with yourself and decide what it looks like for you. Okay? The fourth one is poor time management. I think it's the fifth one actually. Poor time management and structure, a lack of structure. So this one is for the people who say, you know what, I know there is urgency around this and I want to do it, but because you don't have the structure, you don't have the infrastructure as a human being to categorize and to appropriate your time properly, you're not able to do what you want to do. So it's important that you really do see time as a commodity. And so for some people, you may need somebody to help hold you accountable. You may need coaching. Don't feel like you have to do this thing by yourself. Slide into my DM and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Okay? So Just to recap, lack of awareness. Oh, I don't know, it's my thing. It's somebody else's responsibility. The second one I said was a no sense of urgency. The third one I said was just a fear of failure when you're measuring yourself by the rules of others instead of the rules of the one who sent you. The fourth one is lack of resourcefulness. You feel like this is what I need, whereas you are not thinking broadly enough such that you can actually do what you intend to do, but using different resources. The fifth one is just poor time management and structure. And I'll sneak in a bonus one, a sixth one. It's just apathy, lack of interest. So you know it should be done. You don't feel it's somebody else's responsibility, but you're still not interested. So this is the thing that will make people walk past somebody on the street who is struggling, who perhaps needs help to carry something. And you just kind of feel, well, it's not my problem. Just lack of interest. Okay? So I want you to think about everything I've said today and think about where you fit in the spectrum, if at all. It is likely that it's just a few tweaks that you need to start to just change just your approach and the results that you're getting in life. And I'm going to suggest a couple of things as I bring this podcast to a close today. The first thing you should do after listening to this podcast, right? The first thing I want you to do is just write it down and decide, get a journal and just write down, what impact do I want to make in this world over the next 4 weeks? What would I do over the next 4 weeks that will make me feel as if, yes, I'm not here just to consume things. I'm here to give back as well. What can I do? That's the first thing. And the second thing I want you to do is I want you to get what I call an impact jar. Just get a jar, basic jar that has a lid. Every single day, put something, write something on a small sheet of paper, fold it and put it. Do something that is beyond yourself. Remember the definitions I gave at the start of the podcast, that impresses yourself upon something or someone else, right? And record it as the impact that you're making. As you see that jar start to fill up, you'll start feeling the sense of purpose that I talked about at the start. It may look like little things that you're doing, but you can see that collectively it's doing the world good, it's doing yourself good. And then crucially, it's going to encourage you to do more. Okay? So making impact starts with you. It starts with owning the responsibility that you have been given to make the world a better place. There are so many ways that you can do it. Don't stick to the definitions that society puts together. Think about what your own definition would be. For me, making impact, I send newsletters out to people, thousands of people. I drop a podcast every single week, and I've been doing this for near on 3 years now. I speak at events. I am on social media, making sure I have platforms that I've created. I'm on, so there's so many things that I'm doing, but again, let's not feel that, I'm already doing enough, so this podcast is not for me, it's for somebody else. What else can you do? If you think about the beginning of the world, and as God started to create the heavens and the earth, He started with let there be light. And you can see progressively He was adding more things, until ultimately He sent His Son to earth to come and die. So that that impact can be, can be widely felt across all of humanity. So I want you to take it a notch up. Whatever you're doing, it's good, but what can we do next? What can we do to add more to it? Yeah? If your dream is to write a book, for instance, can you start with a couple of paragraphs a day and put it into your jar? Whatever it is, there is so much in you, and I'm rooting for you. I believe in you so much. I want you to win. I want you to make impact. Don't forget, in this life, with every single day that we live, we're actually dying. It's a countdown, not a count up. Okay? Alrighty. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today. I have thoroughly enjoyed our time together, and I look forward to the next activation series segment. Take care.